In this video, I'm going to talk about narcissists and silent treatments, why they do this, when they do this, and how you can actually get them to stop. So let's get into it. The silent treatment is a silent adult hissy fit. This is the narcissist saying, oh, I'm not actually going to get my way. Oh, you're going to try to make me do something I don't like, something I don't want to do. Oh, I see. You're not going to give me what I feel I deserve. Well, fine. Then you know what? I'm not going to talk to you. Your calls are going to be ignored and your texts and your emails, and you yourself will be ignored. They'll walk past you in the same house and stay silent and appear to not even see you. So let's talk about why they do some of these things. Number one, above all else, the silent treatment is punishment. What are you being punished for exactly? Honestly, sometimes we don't know. It can happen after a heated argument, which can make a little bit of sense, but sometimes it happens without there being a real reason. Rest assured, there is a reason, but just like everything else with a narcissist, you probably have no idea what it is most of the time. You might be being punished for the fight, the good old, how dare you fight with me? You might have knowingly or unknowingly caused them a narcissistic injury and bruised that fragile, frail little ego. Maybe you insulted them, embarrass them, something like that. Punishment is the main cause for why somebody narcissistic vanishes for a while, but there are other reasons why this can happen, and we're going to go through them in this list. But the whole idea behind punishment is you're supposed to get the message from this silent treatment that whatever it was you said or did, you better knock it off. You better not do it again, or you will continue to suffer this fate over and over and over. So you better learn, and you better learn fast. Number two, this silent treatment is a scare tactic. The narcissist can disappear and it might cause you to feel confused or panic. It might make you very scared, and then you'll reach out to them obsessively trying to figure out where they are or what's going on. And this pleases the narcissist as they see you trying so hard to get their attention, to maybe apologize, something like that. Doing this can lower your self-esteem and keep you feeling depressed, unwanted, unloved, rejected. The overall trick here is to keep you feeling weak. And if you're weak and you feel bad about yourself, you're not even going to think about leaving, and you'll continue to shower them with all this supply and attention to get them to come back. Number three, the silent treatment is a delay. And it's called stonewalling. The narcissist is trying to delay something. Usually that's having a conversation. They don't want to explain why they didn't get in until 4 a.m. or they couldn't be bothered to text you. So they go dark for a few hours or a few days and wait for you to just give up on it or forget about it altogether. Again, it teaches you over time not to bring these topics up. I'm not going to have this conversation. You know this by now. Don't question where I am or what time I got in or who I'm with, because this is what's going to happen to you. And all this really boils down to is an adult acting like a child, which is what happens when you're dealing with a narcissist. These folks are emotionally stunted, and maturity-wise, the same thing is happening as well. They're not going to have those difficult, uncomfortable conversations. That would lead to things like them having to, dare I say, apologize or take responsibility or accountability, admit some kind of fault, things that no narcissist is ever going to do. Things like that don't fit their narrative of I'm perfect. It doesn't work in that little fantasy bubble of a world that they've created for themselves. The silent treatment again shows that lack of maturity, and honestly, it shows the lack of basic social skills to be able to have a conversation. Someone narcissistic doesn't have a good handle on their emotions. Proof of this is written all over the wall, all over their behavior. Sometimes they blow up and lash out. You get some of that nice narcissistic rage. And here we have the flip side where they might be raging, they might be upset, who knows, but they're going to bury it all inside and go completely silent. And neither of these things are going to solve issues or problems or bring any kind of resolution or peace to a relationship. And this is why gray rock is so important, no contact, because there is no use trying to battle with somebody like this. They'll either explode and lash out or just go through the motions and say, okay, whatever, and nothing changes, or they vanish. And those are about the only options that you get. If you want information on gray rock or no contact, I'll leave links to videos on those down in the description for you. If you would like to talk about a narcissistic relationship that you feel that you were in, or maybe you're dealing with one right now, you can email BookAChatWithJess@gmail.com for private chats and coaching with me if you feel you need it. Number 4, the silent treatment is manipulation. I mean, all of these are basically manipulation, but in this way, the narcissist stays quiet in hopes that if they do, you will just give in to whatever it is that they want. Perhaps they asked you for money and you said no, so now they decided that they are going to ignore you until you come around, apologize, and hand over some cash. Or maybe there's something that you wouldn't do or something you wanted them to do, and they're just going to stay quiet until they actually do achieve the end result. They just don't bother fighting. They just go silent, hoping this will drive you kind of crazy, and then maybe you'll just give in, because people who are narcissistic know people who are usually empathic and they don't want confrontation like us. We just want to hurry up and get past this. We want to hurry up and fix it. We're trying to reach out. We're trying to apologize. We're trying to do everything that we can. And so all of these are just the narcissist saying, okay, I'm just going to go ahead and not talk. And then you'll come around. You'll say sorry. You'll learn the lesson. You'll give me what I want, and so on. Number 5, the silent treatment is gaslighting. When a narcissist doesn't talk to you, I mean, obviously, we're kind of left to our own devices to sort out what the hell is happening. Just like when they discard us, we're kind of left in a state of, oh, okay, I guess I'm going to get closure and sort this all out on my own. The same is true with the silent treatment. You don't know what the hell is happening, and it might cause you to think things like, wow, they won't even talk to me. Maybe I did overreact. Damn, maybe I shouldn't have brought that up again. I really am being a nag. They told me not to do this. I know not to do this. You start second guessing yourself, losing your idea of reality, and then you can get confused on what the issues are. Who's the bad guy? What's happening here? What's going on? And that confusion is some gaslighting. And so we will move on now to number 6. The silent treatment is a silent sob story. Ooh, you hurt their feelings, something bad happened to them, so they silently slink away and go and feel sorry for themselves, and then this can prompt you to have that guilt, that shame, all those kinds of things. You might feel that you caused it, so then you might reach out to them and say, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do this, please don't feel bad, please don't be upset, let me help you. You know, all of these, again, like I say, is them trying to do whatever they can to make you break whatever behavior it is. So how do you handle it when the narcissist decides to play this game for whatever reason? How do you make it stop? Or how can you at least slow it down if you can't stop it? Well, since you can't have a conversation with this person because this person will not be a responsible, reasonable adult, you have to adjust yourself. And that's the name of the game with anything in life. We can't change other people. So we have to change the way we see things, how we deal with things, how we handle it. And again, since you can't have the conversation, don't. Since you can't reach them, they're going to ignore you. Don't try. Just like you have to let a child wear themselves out when they decide to have a tantrum in the grocery store or act very foolish, and you just got to kind of let them cry it out and scream it out and go, "Are you done? Can we move on now? Can we get out of the dairy aisle because I have things I have to do." You have to do the same thing here with somebody narcissistic. If they want to be silent, cool. But you know what? I'm not going to take responsibility for this. That's what you tell yourself. Fine, do what you got to do. But I'm not taking responsibility for this. I want to have the conversation. I want to solve the problem. I want peace and tranquility here. Even if you did do something wrong, maybe you did start an argument. Maybe you did get too upset. You don't deserve silence. You deserve to have a conversation about it and get to the root of the problem. And nothing is going to get solved when somebody remains silent. Communication has to happen, but when somebody just flat out won't let it happen, then you just have to move on with life. Ignore them as they ignore you. One word answer them as they do to you. Reciprocation. You're going to take what's being given and then just give that right back. Stop taking responsibility for their tantrum and wait it out. So when they decide that it's all blown over and they're going to speak to you again, oh, lucky you, by the way, this is where you can start training them as best you can to stop or slow some of this nonsense. When they decide to speak to you again, bring no attention to the silent treatment whatsoever. Don't say, oh, you didn't talk to me for 4 days, but now you're going to say something. The whole idea here is to not let them know that it bothers you. Honestly, if you know someone and you're with them and they're doing this, you need to just use their being quiet as a good way to go no contact and break up and leave. But if you don't, or if you can't, or don't want to, whatever, the mentality you have to have here is silent treatment who? What are you talking about? Oh, we didn't talk for 3 days? Sorry, didn't even realize it. I've been so busy. You let them know it didn't faze you. You don't chase them. You don't blow up their phone. You keep rolling with life. If they say, oh, well, didn't you miss me? Again, you say, I'm sorry, been busy, haven't had time to talk, or you just go right over that and move on to some other part of the conversation. If they maybe demand an apology, you just say, well, I don't, owe you an apology. Actually, we still have to have that conversation. Hold them accountable, but don't bring up the fact they went silent. Well, actually, you seem to have been busy and we didn't get a chance to have that conversation. So when you want to do that, we can absolutely do that. And if I owe you an apology, then you'll certainly get one. If they see that them doing this doesn't get them out of trouble and it doesn't faze you and it doesn't get them what they want, the game will maybe not necessarily stop altogether, but it will certainly kind of slow down a little bit. So to sum this up, stop giving them the reaction they want. Stop reaching out and begging them to talk to you. They don't do anything if they don't expect to get something back. This is essentially gray rocking. You are denying them the response, the reaction, the reply, everything that they hope to get out of doing this. It's just another game they play that we have got to stop participating in. If you want to learn more about mind games and all the other games they play, and how to beat them, I have videos about it on the screen for you now. Thank you so much to my Survivors Army. Please like and subscribe if you haven't. Have a great day, Survivor, and take care of yourself.